question? Oh man.
Sensei, in the Swati Waza drills, with the sticking to, okay, it feels like I'm using contestation maybe to stick. And that's not it, obviously. But because I feel like I'm not getting out of the way in order to stick.
So I can't stick. Okay? Can't get the Aiki adhesion, then you're reduced to deflection. Okay? Deflection is reactionary. Deflection doesn't work at full speed, which is why it's being substituted by setups. So, right, you throw your jab, I catch the jab, and I come back with the counter jab. You throw your jab, I bump and follow it in with the rear cross. It's a setup. Okay? The traditional martial art solution to it was not setups, because setups work when we're all playing by the same rules. And setups work for the deflections, or the counters, or the dilemmas that you use in setups, minus the adhesion, are okay when weapons are not involved. Okay? Weapons are very fast, so you make connection and you keep connection. Then you don't have to keep guessing where that weapon is going. It's no different empty-handed. Okay? Deflection, setups, dilemmas, they're tactics. They're viable, but under different rules, under different scenarios. You will use them in combination with Aiki adhesion. Do you get it? They're not useless. They're not invaluable, but they're made much more valuable when you can combine them with Aiki adhesion. Okay? Because usually somebody who is getting countered by setups and dilemmas, getting trapped in dilemmas, fakes, feints, things like that, they look for connection. You see, they're trying to smother you, and well, good, thank you. I now have this. But if you're doing Aikido and you're trying to do Aikido Kihon Waza, it's all based on the Aiki adhesion. It's a different art. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Don't get butt hurt. Okay? You as a deshi are obviously free to choose what part of the training you do and don't do. Do you see that? It's kind of your right, isn't it? Do you get it? Like if I took it away from you, how happy would you be? Not very happy. It's a kind of entitlement you have adopted onto your own self. Do you afford that same entitlement to your teacher? Can I, as freely, pick and choose who and what I teach? Would you feel robbed if I did? Be honest. Do you get my question? You'd feel robbed. Okay? So there's something weird going on. You see that? Because it doesn't seem very fair. If you're free to pick and choose, I should be free to pick and choose. But somehow I'm not free to pick and choose, but you're free to pick and choose. Okay? Imagine if we lived in a fair world. And you would be just as happy allowing me to pick and choose as you are satisfied with you picking and choosing. Okay. Personally, I don't think it works. even in that idealized world, I don't think it works. Okay? Because there's certain elements and aspects that have to be in place in order for you to progress. We call it progressions because you have to have this to do that, to do that, to do that, to do that. It is no different than I can't take you to the range if you cannot safely operate the firearm. You have to have that before we go to the range. So when I say, go do that technique over there, I'll tell you, I'm going to share with you my point of view. The first thing that happened is I said to do an Aiki adhesion, and then you did deflections. Okay? Then we had to separate the class because if you're going to do an hour of deflections, that's what's being reinforced. Do you get it? It has nothing to do with what I want. I don't want you to do an hour of deflections. But if I let you do an hour of deflections, you're going to get good at deflections, but deflections are not as good as you think they are, nor are they the art. Okay, so then we said, okay, you guys aren't going to do this anymore. But did you think I was saving you? Probably not. Do you see? You probably thought. But had I let you do an hour of deflections, you would be further from Aiki adhesion. But if you keep looking, then I said, change partners, mix it up. But you didn't. And I had to say it again. Then we just stopped and went to the old drill, remember? And then you guys did techniques. You're basically doing Kihon Waza. Do you understand that? So if I wait for you to grab me and I pick the technique ahead of time, that is just an expedited Kihon Waza. Do you see how that is that? Jiyu Waza is, I just reconcile his energy and the technique manifests itself. Do you understand that? So now you're doing Kihon Waza in a Jiyu Waza setting. That's also not what I asked you to do. Then, some of you kept doing the countering drill. You weren't going to do the countering drill, you were going to do the beginner drill where you stopped doing Kihon Waza. Do you see? Then you're stopping the uke, then you're clashing the uke, then you're not taking kemi, you're trying to beat them. The same reconciliation in the energy that you would do at uke is the same reconciliation you would do as nage. But the person who clashes and contests is uke, what do you think they are as nage? The person who contests and clashes is nage. Now the uke stops moving when you do that as nage, and now it's, again, this is not right. It does not work. Especially when you're much smaller than the other person. But I don't think it works, period. Okay? So when the teacher says we're going to do this, and it's not that, it has to come from you, from within you, that you stop that. You get it? I cannot do that for you. Okay? And I would say that there is a deeper art when you can stop that. The same release that you do where you don't contest the uke that is coming in, when you accept what they're doing, is the same release and the acceptance you practice with the teacher's direction. where you stop choosing and filtering. You see, because our ego, our pride, our lack of experience wants us to do the other thing. But you get to practice releasing and acceptance. But you also get another prize. You get the stepping stone necessary for the next drill. Okay? So, Jiyu Waza, number one progression that we do, that you guys were asked to do over here, is not Kihon Waza done without breaks and change the technique every rep. That's just Kihon Waza. Do you guys get that? Yes? No? So what would we say is the difference then? It could be the same technique. But what makes one technique application Jiyu Waza and what makes it Kihon Waza? Yeah.
If you picked it beforehand, it's Kihon Waza, and if it just is what happens, it's Jiyu Waza.
I think that's a pretty good definition. Okay? Pretty good. Can you see? It seems like, but wait, it's the same technique. But the emotional, psychological, spiritual content at the core of the technique is entirely different. You see? And if you don't think that matters, sooner or later you're going to get kissed by someone you don't want to kiss. That is still a pressing of lips on lips, and you will want nothing to do with it. Okay? Emotional, spiritual content counts. Okay? And you need to be able to have an allowing of the technique to just happen, to start moving into the countering, the rondori, the strikes, the transcendence of form. You see that? Which is the solution, not more forms. I don't want to know another freaking technique for the left hook. I want to stop being bogged down by techniques. Then it doesn't matter what is coming. Okay? You guys got that? So, it's very hard, isn't it? It's like doing zazen and trying to stop thinking. It's the same exact thing. Got it? It's the same exact thing because it's the same exact problem. It's the problem of the mind and the everyday mind utilization and preoccupation and enslavement to form. It's the same problem. Okay? You guys got it? Okay. So we're going to hit Jiyu Waza again next week. And just like when you do Zazen, you have a beginner tool. Return to your posture. So your mind goes off, return to posture. Got it? Okay, the Jiyu Waza beginner drill is don't think technique. You're going to go, you'll be able to do it. Get your mind on the energy that's pushing. Do you see that? Bring your mind to the sensation at the contact point. Okay? Can you do that?